If you're anything like me, you like to have a concise plan to get the most out of your practice. And if you continue watching this video, I'm going to show you the things that I do to get this done. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 things that I do when I practice. Alright, number 1, I like to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, or I just like to either put it away. Oftentimes, when we are in our practice and we don't do this, or we use our phone as a tuner, use our phone as a metronome, we get a little notification or we see that we have an email or a message and we gravitate towards clicking on that notification or watching TikTok. And I like to eliminate that as much as possible in my practice sessions. So when I do put my phone on Do Not Disturb, I don't get any notifications from any of my apps. If I use my tuner, that is. If I use my metronome or my tuner, I usually like to do it on a different platform. There are often times where if I know that I'm going to be on an app more than actually practicing, I will actually just put my phone in a place that I cannot reach it. Number 2, I use a drone tool to tune all of my notes after, I warm up, after I practice a little bit. I will use a tuner to tune my F sharp if I'm playing on alto. But after that, I strictly use a drone tool because I fear that if I'm looking at my tuner, I'm going to just look at the needle, and if it hits green, it'll hit green. But if I'm actually playing in a band setting, or if I'm playing a piece with a piano player or a piano accompaniment, I know that if I was focused on that tuner, I can't tune within that ensemble or within that setting. So I use a drone tool, and what I do is I practice my long tones, and I'll do this for about 15 minutes. And I know, trust me, using a drone tool, it is boring. It gets annoying at times. There are a lot of times where I just want to turn it off, but I know if I do, I'm not training my ear. And that's the big thing about me tuning with a drone tool, is learning how the note sounds, how the note feels by ear. And it helps with voicing too. If you know you're sharp, you can voice it down. If you know you're flat, you can voice it up, and not focus on biting too much. Number 3, I practice with a metronome, but not in the sense that I practice the piece at the tempo. I usually take it down about 50% to 25% slower. It helps with getting the fingers right. It helps with getting each note, each passage. And I believe that if you practice, you better practice slowly first, because if you miss a note, your brain and your body is going to do that muscle memory where that note that you missed, if you miss it over and over and over by practicing the piece at tempo, you're going to have a problem or have a tendency to play that note wrong, even in a different setting. So I like to practice 25 to 50% slower, and I take it note by note, measure by measure, just to ensure that I am not missing any notes, any articulation, any volume setting like piano, pianissimo, forte. And by doing that, I am training my brain and my body to play that passage perfectly. practice scales. I know it is something that all of the teachers say. I know it's something that everyone will tell you. Scales are the driving force of everything we play. If you know your scales, you know all of the patterns, you know everything that you can do with the scales, your melodic minor, your ditones, all of those scale techniques. You will have an easier time playing each passage, each piece, each phrase, because you will recognize that's a B flat scale. Oh, that chord, it's actually in the key of G major, diminished. All of those will help you through everything you do. It is a foundation, and it is a nice way to warm up. I usually do this around the beginning. I'll do long tones, then I'll work on my scales. I'll work on my scales for about 10 to 15, 20 minutes. 5. This one you can actually do without even touching the horn. This one has helped me in many cases, and this can help you in many cases. You can do this in the car. You can do this while walking. You can do this by doing homework or by, just going to work. And this one is listening to great players that you enjoy. Oftentimes, our teachers or our proteges or a lot of these other people will be like, hey, you need to listen to this person, or hey, have you heard this guy's transcription of this song? And they don't really understand that it isn't about them, it's about you, right? If you know what you want, if you know what you want your sound to be, if you know what you want your tone, your articulation, if you know what you want to be as a player, you will start looking up those players. A lot of the times, all these professors and all these other people will try and force you to listen or force you to play a certain way, even though it is your own choice to develop your sound in your own unique way, right? This is all a path, and in doing number 5 in the sense of listening to people that you like I love Arno Bornkamp. I may have just butchered his name, but the way he plays Aria by Eugene Boza is by far the greatest version I have heard. And you can do this anywhere. Like I said, you can put AirPods in, you could put headphones on, and you can go out for a walk, you can go out to a park, you can go drive, and you can just listen to great players that you enjoy. And that's a key factor. You have to enjoy them. If you don't enjoy them, you're not going to want to listen to them, and you're not going to benefit at all from it, because oftentimes if we don't enjoy it, we don't really pay attention. But yeah, these are the 5 things that I do usually when I practice, and these have helped me develop the sound that I have today. Granted, it could use a lot of work, and granted, I could be more pronounced in the way I do these things, and I could probably practice them a lot more. However, when I started implementing these in my practice strategy, I have realized that my sound has drastically changed, and it's all for the better. Yeah, if you enjoyed these 5 helpful tips, if you enjoyed listening to how I go about these things and what my thought process is, consider, hitting that subscribe button. Consider commenting if this helped you at all. And if it didn't, still comment. I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to figure out this whole YouTube thing, looking at a camera. It's different. It is very different. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Bye-bye.